This is The Common Denominator, and I'm Ilana Rachel Daniel.
On October 7th, an unprecedented and savage massacre was perpetrated upon the people of Israel. Young children, young women and men, and whole families were demolished in an exceptionally barbaric and lengthy ordeal. Once Israel began its retaliation against the entities that have repeatedly and publicly sworn to do all in their power to destroy the Jewish people in their entirety, wherever they live, and then move on to the rest of the infidels, people began searching for an explanation for the war in Israel and Gaza, which was more suited to their worldview. They asked the question legitimately demanded after all definitive world events. Cui bono? Who benefits from the mayhem? There's no doubt that we live in a complicated world where even sworn enemies are connected financially, to a world where bankers and the weapons industry require a war every now and then to shift money and power and to move out old inventory. We've seen, however, one much repeated theory that has traversed the internet with such vigor, people have adopted it as historical truth. It surrounds the so-called Ben Gurion Canal, and we wish to shed some facts into the pool of public opinion. The Ben Gurion Canal was a wild proposal made in the 1960s to build a canal through Israel from the port of Eilat on the Red Sea all the way to the Mediterranean. The idea being to create an alternative route to Egypt's Suez Canal, which already connects them. In 1963, the federally funded research center Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory completed a feasibility study of building such a canal from the Gulf of Aqaba through Israel until the Mediterranean. The paper examined the option of constructing the canal by detonating nuclear bombs. Historian Alex Wellerstein calculated that it would take 520 nuclear bombs in order to achieve that ambitious canal. The briefing drafted a possible route to run from Eilat, Israel's southernmost city, to an area north of Ashkelon, not via Gaza. The 6-page briefing agreed that an alternative to the Suez Canal would be strategically valuable and would, quote, probably contribute greatly to the economic development of the surrounding area. However, the authors concluded that while the idea appears to be in the range of what is technically feasible, they questioned the economics of the project. They went on further to say that construction might prove politically impossible as neighboring Arab countries were likely to strongly object. Ironically, the paper seems to ignore that the Israeli public might also take issue with the detonation of more than 500 nuclear bombs within a landmass the size of New Jersey. One of the reasons this long-shelved idea has received recent traction may be due to an April Fool's joke published in The Guardian on April 1st, 2021. The article came out shortly after the ship Ever Given ran aground in the Suez, which blocked passage for 6 days. The Guardian's article, however, was mistaken as an actual news report by many outlets. Platforms such as BBC Turkey published the story as real and later had to retract their report. Conspiracies continued to pop up for many days afterward, such as they did in the Tehran Times. Now, those 6 days the Suez Canal was blocked did succeed to reignite the Israeli government's interest in expanding its current oil pipeline from Eilat to Ashkelon, as well as in the building of a railway link from Eilat to the Med. Adding to the confusion, the proposed Eilat railway was dubbed the Inland Suez Canal, which likely contributed to the belief Israel was planning an actual canal and not, in fact, a railway line. In the end, subsequent studies made in 2012 concluded that the economic, environmental, and political impacts of the railway simply could not justify the expansion of the port in Eilat. So much for Tik Tok curriculum. But let us not leave it there, for certainly if the war isn't for a canal, then it must involve the gas reserves discovered off the Mediterranean coast, right? According to estimates, Gaza's gas field contains around 28 to 35 BCM, billion cubic meters of gas. It's not actually very much. Meanwhile, Israel currently has gas fields with over 1,000 BCM. It's more than 30 times that of Gaza, and they anticipate further discoveries as they continue to expand explorations. Both Israel and the Palestinian Authority are part of the East Med Gas Forum, who aim to develop gas in the region. Other members include Egypt, Jordan, Cyprus, France, Greece, and Italy. In 2022, Israel and Lebanon agreed upon a deal in which Lebanon would be permitted to explore for their own reserves areas of the Mediterranean Sea which Israel claims as its economic waters. And the Gaza gas field, found in 2000, was quietly approved by Israel in June 2023 for development. The take-home reality is this. Israel found over 1,000 BCM of gas, and that's important for this small country. But in terms of world consumption, were Israel to provide, say, the EU with the amount of gas which Russia did before their own war, our reserves would be finished in 5 or 6 short years. Initiating a costly and horrifically tragic war for some 30 BCM of additional gas simply doesn't add up. We all seek clarity and coherence in these times of unprecedented deception. The reality we must contend with is always multifaceted and more complex than can be encapsulated by an all good, all bad paradigm. I hope these facts didn't spoil your day or blood libel, and that they aid those of you still committed to the analytical process. We are witness to the chasm that has widened between reality and perception in recent years. So we've taken the initiative to launch an all-new podcast on precisely this. The program will seek to fill in the gaps of theory and reality, to demystify not only the realities of the Jews and the Jewish state, but also the broader threats we face worldwide with leaderships who continuously seek to centralize their power, and the reality of the human fallibilities that aid them. There's nothing else like it around, and we want you involved. Find updates for the Common Denominator podcast and our previous years of work on Substack, Ilana Rachel Daniel 120, or on Telegram at the Common Denominator. See you there.